Bayern Munich 7 points clear atop the Bundesliga. Just 2 losses this season for Bayern. Leipzig, Leverkusen, Wolfsburg round out your top 4. Gladbach in 5th, Dortmund in 7th right now, outside the Champions League spots. Aage Fjortoft still with us. Jan, I mentioned Bayern has lost just twice in the Bundesliga this season. One of those, shockingly, back in September, 4-1 away to Hoffenheim. The two teams will meet this weekend in Munich. How nervous should Bayern fans be about a repeat?
Well, they should be if they played as tactically bad as they did in the first game, because they had the ball all the time. I would have 65% of the ball possession. But, you know, Bayern likes to stand very high with a back four, and sometimes they are punished. And in that game, they were, remember Kramaric, the striker of Hoffenheim, doing so well. They're winning 4-1 in that game. But the thing about Bayern is, even though they're having some games, and some games they're not playing as they used to be when they are the reigning champion, both in Champions League and the Bundesliga and the Cup and whatever. But they've been a bit weaker this season. But when you have a look at the table, it doesn't look like they've had any problem at all.
Worth noting for Bayern then, Javi Martinez and Leon Goretzka, both positive COVID-19 tests. They won't be available. Jan, when we talk about Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, we always seem to talk about their boards. We don't really do that a lot with Bayern Munich, but interesting reporting this week from Bild suggesting there's some tension between Hansi Flick and those above him. What's going on?
Well, you know, in Germany, they have a very strong head of sports, sport directors or team managers or whatever you call them. So at Bayern, that is Hansi Flick, the nice guy, a good-looking, cozy guy, but that's not how he is. He's also strict, a tough guy. And on the other side is Salihamidzic, who is the head of sport in Bayern. And there have been reported this week there are some tensions. So I asked my sources in Munich, what is this all about? Is this about transfer or is it about power battles? And the answer I got back, well, isn't that the same? And often it is, because you have different opinions which player you want to take in and which players you want to sell. And there were reports also saying that this is all about Hernandez. Remember, they bought him, I think, for 75 million euros. But still, Hansi Flick is playing with Alaba and Boateng at the back. That has been one of the reasons. And I make a little prediction. The Euros coming up now. Joachim Löw will probably have his last tournament as the German national coach. Who is the most likely to take over? Yes, they would love to have Jurgen Klopp. That will never happen. So Hansi Flick could be a surprise candidate. And Hansi Flick many times have gone out of running contracts. So there could be something happening in Munich is in 2021, as there always is at Bayern.
Jan, wouldn't that be kind of a disaster for Bayern? Don't they remember what this club was like under Niko Kovac before Flick took over?
I mean, the only thing that can kind of stop Bayern is they appoint the wrong coach. Niko Kovac was good at the beginning, but then he lost the dressing room. Remember losing 5-1 against his former club, Eintracht Frankfurt, and was fired. And it's quite hard in the market today to find the right coach. I think a lot of them dreaming of getting Julian Nagelsmann can buy up that young team and use the young talents, which he's doing now at RB Leipzig and he did in Hoffenheim. But as we know, there are other clubs in for Nagelsmann and he got a good job at RB Leipzig. So I think it's going to be very hard for them because now they found a coach in Hansi Flick winning the treble. He's played there before, is a guy that everybody likes. So yes, it's going to be hard for them. And I think there's something they want to avoid, but never underestimate a power battle at Bayern. Some of them could end up leaving, and we'll see who that's going to be, or everything will be peaceful and they find a solution.
Right now, Bayern pretty comfortable, 7 points clear atop the table. Very uncomfortable in 7th place, Borussia Dortmund. What a strange 2021, Jan, it's been for this team. They get off to a great start, right? They beat Wolfsburg and Leipzig, 2 top 4 teams. And then in their last 3 matches, they get just the 1 point. Over the last couple weeks, we've been asking, is it a crisis at Dortmund? I think it's safe to say now it is a crisis at Dortmund. The question I would advance to you is, do you think this team has any chance of pulling out of that crisis?
Well, they got to. I mean, when you have all these kind of talents, you have the best talents from all different parts of the world, some way you have to bounce back. Remember, this is a club that every home game, they're losing 4 million euro. They can't fill their stadium. Can you imagine if they would avoid getting into the Champions League? The trouble Dortmund got, the trouble Erling Haaland sometimes got, and some when he's scoring like he did last game away, he scored 2 against Gladbach, of course. Then he did okay. He is their main man, and there are some games you just feel when the teams are playing very low against them, and then they end up doing nothing. Erling Haaland is trying all the time. He's leading out there, doing what he can best, scoring goals. But the rest of the team seems sometimes they would just play the ball around. Ball possession is okay, but they struggle to have that plan B. And Augsburg at home, remember, Augsburg is doing okay. I mean, their lack of resources, but they still managed to be away from the relegation. So this is going to be a tough game for them. It's going to be a decisive game. Remember, they thought that by firing Favre, they're going to get closer to Bayern, and they've never been further away from them. So it's going to be interesting. And also, you know, they got a young coach in there who need all the confidence in the world. And at the same time, they got to find the coach that's going to run or do the job for them in the summer. We hear that Marco Rose from Gladbach will do that, but still, it's bad time. It's a difficult time for Dortmund at the moment. This game against Augsburg, very, very important for them.
All right, Dortmund, Augsburg on Saturday. Also on Saturday, second place Leipzig hosting third place Leverkusen. Jan, this feels like absolutely one for the neutrals. What do you think we get?
Well, there's so many great players out there going forward, and also, of course, some defenders like Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City. They're all looking for centre half, and Upamecano will, of course, like always be the highlight for people watching this game. But I think there are two teams. RB Leipzig losing their last game against Mainz, Leverkusen losing against Wolfsburg at home. Still, with Leverkusen, we know a lot about the Leipzig player, but if you watch Leverkusen, have a look at Wirtz, 17-year-old, Diaby, Bailey, some good players for Leverkusen as well. And this is one of those games that these two teams will always be around second, third, fourth, or fifth. So it's going to be a very hard battle for the teams to get into Champions League. Will be the minimum target for these two clubs. So this is a top game. It's two good coaches meeting each other tomorrow. So it's a very prestigious rivalry between them. So I think we're up for a great game tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.